Hey besties, let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? Bronwyn, Bronwyn. Now you did the darn thing by putting on this hot dog costume. It was real cute. She was like, "You think I'm not gonna rock this hot dog costume? I mean, what else do you wear to a drag show? Hot dogs, right? Let the boys go wild." But what about the shoes, honey? Why were you barefoot in a Machino hot dog couture costume? Let Mary tell it. Why didn't you have on any shoes? I'm thinking you could have wore some cute disco boots. That would have been cute. Reminds you of that song. Remember, the groove is in the heart. Hey, and then I think was that Sly Stone that was in it with her. Hey, Oakland Zone, don't get it twisted, baby. The baby representing all the music. Okay. So anyway, I thought that was a cute idea, the hot dog. I don't know, but she can pull it off. If you can wear a heart jacket, you can wear a hot dog costume. Hey, besties. Welcome to Behind the Shade. How are you doing? I'm good. Let's throw some shade, honey. Let's get into another episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. It's season 5, episode 4, The Epiphany. That Epiphany was so super funny. Who cares? We can keep it the title. That title's okay, I guess. I don't know yet. But this was a good episode. I liked it. Besties, tell me how would you rate this week's episode? It was a good 9, maybe. I think I'm gonna give it a 9. You drop down the comments and you let me know. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share with a friend. Let's get into it. So much to unpack. Now, the way they started the show, giving props to Milwaukee, Laverne and Shirley. I mean, this production company is the bomb. It makes you think that somebody on the crew is from Milwaukee. They was like, we gonna represent our city. Or there was definitely a Laverne and Shirley lover. But the that whole start was super good. It just made me remember how me and my mom would watch Laverne and Shirley, y'all, and we would always argue about who was goofier. I said Shirley was goofier. She would say, no, Laverne. And I'm like, Laverne was goofy, but if you peeped, Shirley was super goofball. Super, super. So let's get into it. So after the wonderful opening, the Laverne and Shirley, I wonder how they did that. Like, that was clever. Not how, we know how, but it was clever. I loved it. Okay, so it's day 2. Whitney has a fun packed day. She's stopping at all the girls' rooms, checking on everybody. She goes into Mary's room and she gets some quick learning tips. Yeah, she learned that the pressing comb is for black girls. Whitney was like, "What's that tool?" And she was like, "This is a pressing comb," or maybe she said a hot comb, whatever. And Whitney's all like, I think Whitney didn't know what to say next because she was on camera. She didn't want y'all to come back talking about she is a Karen and she racist. Because I think there was something. Didn't she get into some mess with that Asian lady the last time? So she didn't say nothing. She was like, "I'm gonna keep it cute and on mute." Okay. So they are the first stop of the day. They're going to go to the Miller Brewery, like the caves, for a private beer and cheese tasting. Then they're going to have dinner at the Harley Davidson Museum. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And then they'll get ready for the grand finale of Trixie's drag show. That's the whole point of them coming to Milwaukee. And you know what? I agree with the ladies. Whitney put on a very good trip. I would have loved to have been there. It was fun. The guest house was the bomb. And just having things to do and just hitting up all the things. It's probably like a little quiet town, not too popular, not overpopulated. You can get in, you can get out. Whitney did the thing. She did a good job. Um, so let's see. So Meredith goes into Lisa's room and tells her that Angie told her that she's having a hard time because Lisa won't talk to her, and tells Meredith to be careful of Lisa, of Lisa and Whitney. And Whitney agreed. Meredith says her and Lisa are good now. Lisa says they are trying to turn Meredith against her. So Whitney is going to check on all the girls, to see, check their temperature, to see how everything's going. So when she gets to Lisa to tell her what they're doing for the day, Lisa is in there getting glammed up, and so she just tells her she doesn't want to go to the Miller Caves. And so Whitney's like, why? Because you came on this trip. We're together. We are doing what I'm doing. This is my trip. And Lisa's like, I'm gonna do something else. And it's like Whitney says, okay. And she is puzzled, okay? So she leaves Lisa, and then Lisa gonna smirk to the glam girls like, "Ha, I sure got her. She thought she's gonna come in here running me. I let her, yeah, ha." It was like, girl, you are, ugh. Lisa is ghetto. So the ladies head to the Miller Caves, and Lisa recruits, what's the girl's name? Maylee? I think it's Maylee. She recruits Maylee and Brittany. Now, Maylee, you are Whitney's friend. Why are you being recruited by Lisa? Ugh, what about your friends? And isn't Brittany, she's Meredith's friend, right? But whatever. So they go ice curling. What? What is that? You're on your knees. Why are we? What? That's something to do? But girl, they live in Utah. It snows. They do all the snowing activities. So Brahma says she's not good with Lisa. And Angie says she's not good with her either. She told them about the lunch. They tried to talk. And, but Lisa got up and left with no resolve. So Whitney asked Meredith, like, did she tell her what they said about her the night before? And she said yes. She said her and Lisa agreed that they was going to talk about everything that would ever come in between them because, they've worked on their relationship. So, well, here we go. Here we go. So it's like, who is she trying to avoid, Whitney or Angie? And I'm like, both. She don't want to come with y'all because she don't want to look at Whitney or Angie. So the girls arrive to the cave, and it's an actual cave, y'all. It is a cave, okay? And the guy tells them, the tour director tells them that's how they kept the beer cold before refrigerators were invented. So I said, oh, beer is older than refrigerators. Who knew? So child Mary has never had beer before. So the guy tells her that the Miller High Life brand is like the champagne of beers. And so, at the tasting, they're sitting at the table. They got the cheese plates, the little charcuterie boards, and they got everything's well decorated. And so she tries the Miller High Life, and she actually likes it. They taste other beers. It's a beer tasting and different cheeses from Wisconsin because Wisconsin is known for their cheese. So at the ice curling place, the girls are having fun, and then Brittany looks at her phone. Honey, she done missed all of Jared's calls, his text messages, his voicemail, everything. He blowing her phone up. And then they flash back to the night before. Angie let her read some of the text messages between him and Angie's brow girl. I heard someone tell me that they thought that they were saying that Angie was saying brown girl on the show. I was like, is she being a care? Like, no, she's not calling out races. Brow. And that's why it's important to read the title of the episode. So she says they were on a break then. And it's like, oh, okay, Miss Brittany. Okay. But I have a question, Brittany. How do you go on break with your best friend? How do you break up with a best friend? 16 times. You know what I'm saying? I think you're confused about what your place is in the relationship. That's why y'all fall out so much. So she says they were on a break. That's probably why he was able to, fool la la with the roo wah wah with the bra girl. Lisa calls him a D-list Osmond. She's like, I don't get what you like about that D-list Osmond. And Brittany doesn't want to talk until she processes things. She doesn't want to talk to him about anything. So, because remember last week, Lisa texted what's Jared to tell him like, she's busy. Maybe we'll talk tomorrow. So, she's blew him off. So, he like, wait a minute, I'm the one that blow you off. You don't blow me off. So, he blow, what narcissists do. They blow you up because how dare you try to get away from me, honey? So Lisa says in her confessional that Brittany is the type that has to please a man. And, she's just has to, her way of dating, her way of thinking is just outdated. And she just doesn't need this. Like, you're calling your boyfriend your best friend. Like, you should be calling him your lover. It's a friendship. It's not a relationship. And so Mary, Bronwyn, and Angie and Meredith, they go over to the bar to have some more beer and hear these ghost stories that the bartenders are going to tell them about the cave. And so Mary tells the bartenders about her dad's Jeffrey Dahmer story. Now, I think I skipped over it last week because it was just like, ugh. But Mary said her dad lived around the corner from Jeffrey Dahmer and he was home or he went over there to the block where the day Jeffrey Dahmer was arrested because you could smell the stink in the air and police or whoever was coming in and they were taking out body bags and he had cooked people and there were body parts and he had cooked some of them. And her dad was there to witness it all and see it all and smell it all. But then she said her daddy was a liar, so she don't know if he was telling the truth. And it was like, well, why do you keep telling this story? But okay. And of course, the bartenders are looking at her with a blank face because why do you want to bring up Jeffrey Dahmer? Like, why are you bringing up a serial unaliver? We trying to drink and be merry. Get it? We're trying to be merry. So Whitney and Heather, aka Laverne and Shirley, were they wearing their shirts that day? I don't think so. Maybe it was just a souvenir that Heather gave to Whitney. But so they're sitting at the table drinking and they're talking. So Heather tells Whitney about her talk that she had with Meredith about the legitimacy of the Prism jewelry. And she said, yeah, she says, you're white labeling jewelry from China. And so Whitney says, well, she knew already that some social media pages were accusing her of buying her jewelry from Alibaba. She says it's not true. Then they show the side-by-side pictures of the exact same jewelry with Whitney. They showed the exact same pictures of the jewelry that Alibaba was selling for $397 versus Prism selling theirs for a mere $49. Whitney. Uh-huh. So she's like, oh God. So Meredith is up to her old tricks again. So last year it was digging into Angie, saying she was a part of the Greek mafia, and Lisa with the SEC filings. So Heather says she's not the source of the info, but she said it doesn't matter. A friend would call me to talk about it, but instead she's going to everyone else talking about it to make me look bad. Point taken. So Heather asked her not to say anything on the trip. Don't get on the van talking about this. Y'all talk about it later. How you gonna drop some dimes on somebody, then tell them how to handle it. You should have waited till you got back home to tell her. Why would you tell her now she's drinking? You think she gonna hold it? She held it for the bus ride, but it came out later. So later on their way to dinner, they're heading to the Harley Davidson Museum. They're in the van, and boom, Whitney announced that it was brought to her attention that the rumor is she buys her jewelry from Alibaba. So Meredith did fess up, and Whitney asked, "Why didn't you call me?" She said, "Because you didn't want to discuss that with me." Meredith feels like Whitney's trying to, compete, challenge her. Now, Meredith, at the same time, plenty of people could be custom jewelry designers or makers or sellers. This ain't the only, you're not the only one. But I do understand it does seem like she's copying everything you do. You do this, she does that too. You do this, she seems like she is studying you. So she pretty much was saying, you didn't want to come discuss it with me, you know, and tells her she had plenty of opportunities to come to her for advice. Okay, Meredith. So Whitney says there's nothing wrong with her business. Rumors are just lies, and her jewelry is curated and commerced. And then she just says, it's not like Meredith goes out into the water and catches her own caviar. Point taken, but curated and commerced. Girl, I mean, business is business. You think people who own boutiques are making the clothes? They buying it from the same places Amazon buying it from. They buy the same clothes. All these boutiques got the same stuff. They getting it all from the same vendor. Okay? Curated in commerce. You mean vendor? Okay, girl, make it cute. Make it cute, Whitney. So Meredith said, that's what the post said on social media. And she said, "I'm not trying to figure out your business. I have my own." And I'm like, that's a word in itself, honey, because as a entrepreneur, honey, you have more, you're busy already. Ain't nobody got time. And now she's not finna go back and forth with you. You would have came to her if you wanted some advice. Why does she need to run to you? So then they had some more back and forth and back again. And so Bronwyn is sitting there like, what is going on? Like, she is so confused by these girls' behavior. She's like, dang, they just nitpick each other every time we get together. It's just always something. And so Mary over there looking like, oh God, oh Jesus. So Whitney says, let's put a pin in it. And then they arrive to the Harley Davidson Museum. So they get to the museum. It is awesome, of course. And even Bill Davidson, he's the VP. He greets them, hosts them, showed them around, gave them gift bags, and took them to their table. He is the great grandson of, the three. Harley Davidson is three Davidsons. There were three brothers. One was his great grandfather, and then the Harley person was a friend to the family. And so they started the motorcycle business back in 03. And there are 130. No, sorry. There are 120 bikes. Okay. Because they come out with a different bike every year. I think that's what Whitney said. And Whitney is a big Harley Davidson fan. She's been part of the motorcycle club. She got bikes. She do this. She do that. She been riding since she was a kid. Her and her husband, what's his name? They do it. They show pictures. She's all Harley Davidson. So then they go to the dinner table, child. Oh, geez. Let me take some water. Let me get some of this water. You guys drinking water? Stay hydrated. Keep that skin glowing and that hair growing. So some of the girls compliment Whitney for having a wonderful trip. And I'm like, yes, I enjoyed the trip too. Who thought Milwaukee would be so cool? So Whitney had gift bags for everyone. So she says she's giving them to them whether they want it or not. Because it was one of her custom curated designs from Alibaba. I'm just kidding, Whitney. And so she said, and be that all of y'all was talking about it. And so I was like, again, Whitney tells Meredith that she wished she would have called her if she cared. Well, she doesn't care. And Mary is looking like, y'all getting ready to go through this again. We just went through this on the bus. Can we eat in peace? Golly. Shoot. Dang. So Meredith tells her she's making it bigger than it really is. You know, because Meredith's thing is, girl, I'm just repeating what I saw on social media. I did not say it. I did not spread it. I'm just saying what I read. And she read it too. So why are you making it bigger than it is? Whitney admitted that she read the same thing on social media. So then Elisa agrees, you know, and so Meredith said, you know, she really felt badly about it. That's why she said something, you know, she's making it seem like that's why she said something to her buzzing cousin. So she said, I really felt just badly about it. And so Lisa agrees. Here we go. So Whitney says, don't pull other people into this, Meredith. Let's just me and you talk. Keep it like Lisa, be quiet. Let's keep this between me and you. Lisa says, you know, she feels like she can talk because she's the one that started that room that, you know, that said what was mentioned on social media. Lisa started that conversation. So that's why she's like, well, I can talk. I can talk. I can talk. And so, you know, Lisa gonna insert herself wherever she needs to insert herself, honey, because you know she is ghetto and she will make anything about herself. Okay, but she has a point. But sometimes, you know, you can just say your little thing and be quiet. But not Lisa, honey. Whew. So Lisa and Whitney started having a back and forth because Lisa wants to help Whitney out. She said, yes, you are making this bigger than it is, and you're saying stuff that's not true. And you know, Lisa gets amplified, she gets animated, that her vocals go up to octaves 10 and 20. So they both start mocking each other's the way they talk. Well, say I talk like you, should I talk like you? And it was like, yeah, what? So here go Whitney with her favorite word. Stop steamrolling me. And Lisa's like, there you go with that word again. You and Angie, that's your word. Because it's true. Hearing about her online and talking about it is called gossip. True, Whitney. This is what Whitney is saying to Lisa. Hearing about me online and talking about what you saw online is called gossiping. So Lisa says, well, Whitney, you did the same to me. You talked to Angie and Meredith about me also, gossip. Here go Lisa. I work hard on this friendship with Meredith. Don't go to her with, do you trust her? Steamrolled. When you know, here go Lisa. When I don't be telling me I steamrolled you when I come to you with facts. That's Lisa's word, honey, because I got facts. FAX. She got facts. So then here comes Angie to Lisa. Well, if my opinion doesn't match yours about Whitney, that's why you mad at me because I don't feel the same way you feel about Whitney. Lisa says, I don't care. I know you got Whitney's back. Well, what I'm upset about is you meddling in my friendship with Meredith. You do care. So here go. Was that when? No, was that when Mary said you do care? So then I don't think so. Not yet, maybe. So then it's a back and forth and back again. And then Lisa starts and she is hollering and screaming, I don't care. I guess Angie said, you do care. She said, I don't care. Then they do more back and forth and back and forth. But baby, Angie stood her little butt up because she's trying to, I guess she's trying to, I guess when you like you're losing the battle, you got to stand up to kind of center yourself to make yourself more forceful. And so she gets up, she pushes the chair back, it falls down. Production went right to that chair, like, look, she dropped the chair on the floor. And it was like, this production is off the hook. Who are they? Because they are off the hook. And so Lisa tells her that, and you just changed our friendship. And so Angie's like, well, you're just mad because I'm not doing whatever you like. More hollering from Lisa. Angie, so then Angie asks the ladies, am I a good friend? Am I a loyal friend? Aren't I a loyal friend? Aren't I a loyal friend? Well, Lisa says, well, you haven't been loyal. You haven't been a loyal friend to me. And that's why I put your butt on pause. You call me every night. I don't think you've been a good friend to me. Angie in her confessionals. I've been a loyal friend to Lisa. It's just never enough. She wants yes people. You're right, Lisa. And it's a problem when you have a different opinion. I agree. Lisa tells Angie to hang out with everyone else but her. And I'm like, just hang out with everyone else except for me. And it was like, now you're trying to be a control freak. You can't control her. I guess you're used to, but Angie, no, she used to control Angie, but Angie like trying to stand up for herself now. So Lisa says Angie uses her daughter to get off the phone with her when she don't feel like talking, and things get weird, and they just got weirder. Just silence. Everybody is like, it was just like, OMG. So Brittany says, let's not bring kids into this. And so, I was reading some blogs. And so a lot of people are saying that Lisa kind of like, she wasn't talking about her daughter, but she went low. And just to bring up the daughter, she just went to HELL. She poked the bear with that one. When someone's already mad at you and y'all going back and forth, she's picking jugulars now. Now you want to bring up her daughter. And so Angie is getting madder and madder. Her voice is trembling and all. She's trying not to cry. And so she kind of says in her confessionals about how she didn't have a great relationship with her mom growing up. So she's giving that to her daughter's name is Electra. And so in Angie's confessions, she says she's on the phone with Lisa 24/7. She's on the phone with her for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and 2 snacks and a midnight snack. And that hit her hard saying that. And so I believe she did bring the daughter up. When you say the name, that's bringing them up. Just because you didn't talk, you're not talking about the daughter. You're still bringing up you're pulling at her heartstrings. You trying to, you're pushing her on the edge. You poking the bear, and you went low, and that was cold because somebody mentioned that darn Jack. OMG, OMG, and I don't know what's the other boy name. Whatever. If you mentioned one of them, child. Oh, you would have been throwing everything off the table, throwing glasses again. Girl, bye. Lisa knew what she was doing. She didn't have nothing else to say, so she just went for the jugular. And so there you have that. That's that on that, okay? So Mary tries to wheel them back in. Well, you do love each other. Crickets. Then Brittany announces that she's officially broken up with Jared. It's like, huh? How you going from this World War III, and now you're like, oh, guys, I have an update. I am officially broken up with Jared. She says she had an epiphany in the middle of the night. They said, well, did you tell him? She said, no, not yet. Oh my God, you're not broken up then. You're not, how you break up with a best friend? I'm trying to understand. So he was blowing up her phone. She didn't answer because she was taking the lady's advice. So clearly the night before they had girl time, and they was all trying to, talk to her about all that. So they don't believe her because she's so in love with Jared. She just Jared. And so Mary tells us that she did not believe her. They was trying to talk to her, but Mary cut it off in 5 minutes. She went to bed early because she didn't think that Brittany was listening to them. And so now that they've broken up, but she hasn't told them yet, Mary is like, well, when she get back with him, she'll be back with him in 5 minutes. And when she does, I want my 5 minutes back. Brahman said, Lisa asked you, what do you like about him? Because they don't understand why he's your boy, he's your best friend. Wow. Heather says, because he's an Osmond. He's like royalty, And so let's talk about this. Well, he lives on Osmond Lane. And I'm like, what's that? So apparently back in the 90s, this was a big old deal. And Lisa said she doesn't think Donnie Marie lived there, but he does, or he did, or whatever. So then Brittany tells Bronwyn to worry about her own marriage. I mean, she just wanted to know, what do you like about him? Because they don't understand why y'all best friends. Like, y'all don't get along. They're trying to figure out where the best friends coming in at. So, honey, Brown said, oh, snap. So now she getting activated. So she was like, and what's your husband's name? And she said, don't be telling me to focus on my own marriage and then don't know my husband's name. And so Brittany is like, well, all marriages are messy, and you guys have so many strong opinions. So I just want to know, why did you choose your husband? And so she was kind of like, he was funny. He's funny. And his name is Todd. And so she was kind of like, so she explained, she said, we were having lunch by ourselves. And, they were in San Francisco. We know the story. They was in San Francisco, and he was talking. She thought he was going to advise her. She was in finance, blah, blah, blah. So she kind of let this girl know that she don't fit the gold digger-ism, right? So she was like, was you interested in him for his money? Trying to make it seem like she's a gold digger. So sarcastically, Brown was like, oh, yeah, I Googled him. I Google financed him while we were at lunch because I just didn't know. I'm randomly at a bar for lunch, and I just decided, let me Google him and figure out how much money he makes before I respond to him. That was a good one, Broadwin. And so she said, well, you made fun of the Osmond thing, so I think it's fair to question. And so Brown was like, yeah, it's fair to question. I get that all the time. Like, girl, sit down and go away. Well, what's the age gap? 26 years. Well, are you physically attracted to him? Or is it because of his money or the age gap? And honey, this is the low blow. So she answers the questions. And what I liked, she was like, if we got divorced today, Brahma says she would not have access to things because they're in a real relationship. She said our relationship includes physical attraction, mental attraction, and we're best friends. We have the best friend attraction too. And I wouldn't take him to the cleaners because that's why we do not have a prenup. Bam, bam, in your face, in your face, in your face. Now go dig that, Brittany. Huh. So Brahman was like, does anyone have any other questions? Like, do you want to question his pole, his stick? Do y'all have questions? They all laughing. Honey, Brahman read that girl. Honey, Brahman read that girl. I think the name of the episode should be, does anyone have any more questions? Oh my gosh. Oh, we are in a real relationship. So Heather can't believe it. No prenup? No prenup? And so Braun was like, you think Todd wasn't smart enough? You don't think he's successful enough to protect his assets from gold digging me? I was like, read them, girl, read them, Braun, and shut everybody down. Shut everybody down. Shut them down. She was like, we have something genuine, and he sees it. Bam, bam, girl. Okay, come on, come on, Brahman. Empty out the whole clip. Why don't you? So then it's time for the drag show. They changed clothes. That's when Brahman got into her hot dog costume. They changed clothes because now they're getting ready. They was kind of having a Harley Davidson motorcycle look. So now they're getting ready to go put their party clothes on and go dance with the girls. So that's when Brahman changed into this hot dog costume. Mary says, she says it's Moshimo couture. And then they show a picture of some model that walked in the, did the walk, do the runway. Is it called a runway? She walked in in the fashion show. And so Brahman says, I said, okay. When she walked out that museum with no shoes on, I gotta say it again. I was like, ew. Bronwyn. I was like, okay. She was like, you think I'm embarrassed to wear this? I'm not. I'm gonna wear this. I was like, okay, hot diggity dog. So they get to the gay bar. Trixie is outside, meets them out front, brings them in VIP style. They did not have to wait in line. They had fun that night. They're in there dancing, having a good time. Whitney called for a dance off. I didn't see it. I think production edited that part out because I didn't see anybody dancing. Did you guys, Bestie, did you see anybody dancing? Well, the people of Wisconsin have spoken, honey. They love Mary. The crowd was, Mary, 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 Mary. But nobody did a dance off. All the most stiff bodies. Lisa stiff. Mary's kind of stiff. Who else was dancing? Angie was there. She's stiff. I was like, child, y'all probably should have thought out before y'all got up on that dance floor. But it was a good episode. I was amazed at what Milwaukee had to offer. Not like it was like ooh ah, but they had a good time, and it was a good show. It was a good 2 episodes, and they'll be back home next week. That's the end of that episode, besties. Let me know what you rate this week's episode. Put your comments in the comment section. Tell me what you thought about the show, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, besties.